This is Grogu, by the way. He's clearly making an appearance in the video. So this March is a really pivotal turning point for 2025. This is when eclipse season really starts, and therefore it's going to be when you're reconsidering your values and what you want to commit to start for the rest of this year. So if you're excited to dive into it exactly we can expect from the astrology of this March, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Hi, I'm Maren. If you're new here, I do videos about astrology. I also make music, so if you would like to, okay, Grogu, let's not, no, okay. My boyfriend's cats. They're poorly behaved. Mine are much better behaved. So if you want to check out my music, my courses, anything else that I have, check the links in the description below for that. And I use Western tropical astrology for those of you who are new and wondering. So this March, we're starting out on the 1st with Venus stationing retrograde in Aries. So Venus in Aries is already going to show a focus on independence, of values that are personal to ourselves, and focusing more on just like what we want, even if it causes disruption or it doesn't create bonds with others. It's very in a neutral way, like self-serving kind of focus on values. Venus retrograde shows rethinking or going back to reconsider what we hold valuable in our lives. And I'll have a full video up on this either before this video or around the time that this video goes public. I'll be filming them one after another within the next few days. So Venus going retrograde on the 1st means that this month might have a tone of rethinking your relationships and reconsidering what you hold valuable. Even though it's not a bad time to start relationships, I would say that it's a unsteady time to start them, or you might find that more truth is revealed in the weeks to come. So I'm not going to say don't have the relationship start. Do whatever happens, like let it come true and whatever. But just don't be surprised if you have to go back, reconsider, or redo things in regards to that relationship in a few weeks. Then on the 2nd, Mercury will conjoin Neptune in Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces is already more focused on creative or emotional communication. It's better for creativity than it is for like literal, direct, scientific kind of communication. Neptune enhances that even more. And Neptune is a planet of spirituality, of transcendence, of things that are faith-based. So Mercury conjunct Neptune beginning of the month highlights the beginning of the month is focused on communicating feelings, communicating creatively, and communicating on things that might be more esoteric or out of reach than normal. It could be a confusing start to the month. This could be a month where you're really emotional and reconsidering what you find valuable in your life. Then on the 7th to the 8th, the Sun in Pisces is going to trine Mars in Cancer. This is a good time to put effort towards things that require courage and action. Whenever the Sun and Mars are connected in a really positive way, it's a good time to just like get your shit together and go for things. With this in water signs, it might be that you are taking emotional risk or putting emotional effort into something. Just know that around the 7th to the 8th might be a time when you actually are like, okay, I have my shit together. I'm going to go after this confidently. On the 11th to the 13th, the Sun is then going to conjoin Saturn in Pisces. So the 11th to the 13th is a very, very serious time. Saturn is a planet of boundaries and maturity, and the Sun conjunct Saturn means that the 11th to the 13th, you could be drawing boundaries or just being really, really serious about what you require and what you're set on. Then on the 11th to the 12th, Mercury is going to conjoin Venus retrograde in Aries. So Mercury and Venus together is usually that creative or artistic communication. It's different than Mercury and Neptune. That's more spiritual creative communication. Mercury and Venus is like, I have something artistic I'm sharing, or I am public speaking and having to do something that's captivating and direct. So Mercury conjunct Venus retrograde around the 11th to the 12th shows that you're speaking or revising or touching base on something that you are redoing that is communication based. So it's like you're redoing a project and you're speaking about it, or you're letting someone know that you fixed something. You're going back to give the news about something creative that you had to redo. Sorry, that was kind of a long-winded way of explaining that. Then on the 14th, there's a lunar eclipse in Virgo. So even though we had a new moon in Pisces in the same sign as the North Node earlier in February, this is the first actual eclipse of 2025. So this eclipse, being it's a lunar eclipse, is about letting go. It's about releasing things. It's about chapters ending. And with this being the first eclipse technically of this cycle, we're starting this year and a half cycle where we're letting go of details, letting go of things that we are holding on to micromanage, and just letting go of things that are wasting our time. So this eclipse on the 14th shows that you are specifically deciding for the beginning of the end. This shows that there's something that has been really heavy and had a lot of details in your life and that you've been micromanaging, and you're like, I'm ready to start the process of letting go of that. Then on the 19th to the 20th, the Sun is going to conjoin Neptune in Pisces. So with the Sun conjoining Neptune, it's highlighting spirituality and transcendence. This is a really creative, emotional few days to feel like you're connected to something beautiful. And then on the 22nd to the 24th, the Sun is going to enter Aries and it's going to conjoin Mercury and Venus retrograde. This is highlighting whatever you're going back to speak on that you've revised or redone. So whatever you're communicating about that you're rethinking, redoing, reevaluating in your life, you are now focused focused on bringing that attention and you're really, really passionate about revising or communicating newly about something different in your life and what you hold dear to like what matters to you. On the 26th to the 31st, Venus retrograde is going to go back into Pisces starting the 26th, and it's going to conjoin Neptune. So Venus back in Pisces is great. Venus is exalted in Pisces. Retrograde, it still shows that we're going back to rethink things that we value. But with Neptune, it's rethinking spiritual or higher level transcendent religious kind of values, philosophical, meaningful values. So Venus in Aries was like, I'm rethinking my personal values and what in my day-to-day life I enjoy. Venus in Pisces, now retrograde back conjunct Neptune, is like, I'm rethinking the religious, philosophical, spiritual underpinnings of what I stand for and what's really, really valuable to me. And then on the 29th, we end the month with a solar eclipse in Aries. Now, this is an out of sign eclipse because the North Node is in Pisces, but it's still within range. And it shows that we are beginning something that is like a final choice for ourselves. We're like, okay, I'm now focusing on the bigger picture of philosophical, emotional kind of underpinnings of my life and what I believe. And I'm going to make this decision selfishly for myself to start something in that way. So it might be that like people count on you, but you're like, I want to go take this meditation trip or do this thing. And it's something that is selfish, but for a greater good, of greater motivation to feel emotionally aligned. And that's why you're choosing yourself. So if you have any thoughts around the astrology for this March, definitely let me know down below how you feel and what's coming up for you. So I'm at my boyfriend's house and I forgot my tarot cards. I'm sorry, but I will say that for this March with the Venus retrograde and the eclipses, go with the fucking flow. Like, don't make this a month where you are rigid. This is a month of reconsidering what you value and of major pivots, not really delays. Venus retrograde isn't as much about delays. It's more about reconsidering values and then restructuring things because you don't feel aligned anymore. Mars is not retrograde anymore. Mercury is not retrograde right now. So pivot and move forward and don't intentionally hard like white knuckle your way into manifesting. See what comes your way. So if you enjoyed this, leave me a like and subscribe, please. And do let me know how you're feeling about this March. Hope that you guys have a good Venus retrograde and eclipses coming up. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.